What's up guys, this is Dim and we're going to do another video pertaining to the level 90 boost that's available from Blizzard with the Warlords Draenor expansion pre-purchase or as a standalone product. So in the previous video I actually boosted my level 70 warrior to 90, which is the guy you see right here. However, some of you guys boosted a level 1 that you've never played before, and I know you guys have all played WoW before, and you know that once you hit 90, you're looking at about 4 to 6 pages of abilities. So what the heck do you do with them? Some classes, like if you picked up a monk or a druid, you have no idea what you're going to do. So what my recommendation is, the first thing you should do is obviously go right into LFR and queue for Terrace of Endless Springs. No, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Assuming that you literally start off with 483s, which is essentially an epic level gear, but maybe you got some timeless isle pieces because that's where they did drop you, but you're not ready to queue for LFR. Don't do it. You don't know what you're doing with your class. You probably don't have anything keybound. So I want to go through and kind of talk you through the first moments or a little bit of time of once you hit 90, what you should do, and kind of spend that extra couple minutes to be ready before you make a complete fool out of yourself. So before you do anything, go ahead and just get out of WoW and go to a couple sites. First of all, don't be these guys. Don't do this. What should I boost? Who should I boost? Why should I boost? Which PvP class is best? Do the research. Figure out a class you really want to play. And if you aren't sure, it's probably not the right class for you. Just because you see some, warlock going around tossing 300k chaos bolts in PvP doesn't mean that this is the right class for you to play. You only get one free boost. The other ones are $60. So value it as a $60 choice. You coming here and posting on Reddit or anywhere else is not going to do anybody any favors. And I mean, you could see the general forums are just livid with boosted characters, even though half of them probably boosted characters themselves. But what I want to do is I want to talk you through some things that'll get you guys ready for the encounters and the class itself. So you kind of have two choices to get started, in my opinion. And of course, opinions are like, well, you know what. The two websites I like to use are either Noxic or Icy Veins, and both of them I think are better in certain regards. There's no standout, in my opinion. Some people swear by Noxic, some people swear by Icy Veins. And what you can do is you just go into, and that's Noxic, Noxxic. I'll put all the links down in the comments. And pretty much what you do is pick your class. So in my case, you go to Warrior Arms. And what you want to do is you want to get a general idea for, one, what specs are doing the most DPS. So in this case, it's obviously Fury. Not by a long shot. Warriors actually has one of the closer ones. But obviously Fury is one of the better choices. And it'll kind of give you at least a rundown of what stats you want to do. And the key thing for now is your DPS rotation and cooldown. Now, there's a ton of abilities here and a bunch of situational things, but what you really want to do is pinpoint the key abilities from your single target and AoE rotation. So you have your Mortal Strike, your Colossus Smell. This is, again, just for Warrior. And it breaks it down, and these are the key ones you want to take a note of first. And then, of course, the cooldowns, which you will learn through time, but like a Warrior is a very cooldown heavy spec. There's other ones like Mages that have a few, not quite as many. But you really want to know those, and there's a lot of abilities that you can just kind of toss out the window. But instead of worrying about the whole spell book, just go by what's on this. And same thing with Icy Veins. Icy Veins has the same thing, where so the Icy Veins rotation for this class is a little bit more in depth, but you see the same players: Colossus Smash, Mortal Strike, Overpower Slam. Focus on those. Then what you want to do is, and I'm going to link this this joystick article. There was a 4-part series regarding Siege of Orgrimmar, and what they are is these are quick blips about what the encounter does. Now, if you've played a ranged class, you may not know what melee's role is there, or even worse, if you've played a DPS class and now you want to level or you want to raid with, say, a tank or a healer, your roles obviously drastically change. Now, this is obviously not going to give you a full detail of the fight, and really what I would recommend you to do is watch YouTube videos of everything. You're not going to do that. at least read the blips. I mean, it'll at least give you, little one-liners, tank shouldn't stack, switch on corrosive blast, stuff like that. Now, after that, as you get your gear, I would highly recommend you guys go to Ask Mr. Robot. I know the specs and the stats are not counted as, if you're going to do like EJ, Elitist Jerks, number crunching, you're going to get more out of it. But this thing is so simple. If you load the add-on, you can export your data, which I did here. And I do have other gear, but I just kept the 483 for argument's sake. And you can do a simple Reforge only optimization from the gear that you have. You export it, you import it into the website, and it'll tell you right here what you'll gain out of it. Now, with this gear, it's pretty well optimized, and I think they did that very deliberately. But assuming you have Timeless Isle gear, you're going to see some other stuff in here, and it's going to make a bigger difference. And the key to it is that when it gets you as close to the hit cap, and then your secondary stats where they value it as hit, expertise, strength, crit, mastery, haste in that order. And they want to reforge your gear, and you can obviously export that to the add-on and bring it back in. Now, this is key because if you get the add-on, what actually happens is it makes your life a whole lot easier. You can actually go back into the game and load the add-on, import the spec that we just, or the reforges that we just did, and it tells you here reforge. So I crossed off the gems and enchants. You're not going to want to gem and enchant your greens. Let's be realistic about it. You're not going to spend hundreds of gold on stuff that's going to be upgraded on any drop you get, essentially. But you can actually go right to the Reforger and click one button, and it will go ahead and do everything for you. You just have to confirm the gold being spent on the total Reforge, which will show you right up front. Now, the last thing that you got to do is don't be a clicker in raids. It's awful. It's terrible. It's not how you want to play WoW. But as you can see here, and I don't even have everything done, do it in little spurts first. Get your key abilities. So for my warrior, what we'll do is we'll focus on charge, colossal smash, mortal strike, overpower, slam. Get those keybound to your main abilities, the ones that you're going to be hitting a lot. Bind them to what feels comfortable to you. It does, that I can't tell you what works, what doesn't. I recently just switched to using a right-handed mouse. I'm actually a lefty, so I forced myself to learn how to use a right-handed mouse because quite frankly, my gamepad broke, so I had to switch. Anyhow, and get yourself to a training dummy, and at least practice rotation a little bit there. And make sure you got those 4 or 5 abilities keybound and you know where they are, so you're not clicking. I know I'm gonna get flamed for this, but don't worry so much right up front with the cooldowns and the secondary things that you're going to be focusing on. So, for example, obviously you're going to have macros with recklessness, and you're going to want Zerker Rage keybound. But you know what? It's not something that you're going to be taking into LFR right away. Recklessness you will, but if you need to click it, you click it for now. But focus on small things as you go, and then as you're raiding and stuff that you find yourself clicking and looking for, bind them on the fly. If you have the standard default bars, go right into keybinds and you can map them right here. If you have bartender, you just type /BT4. Go to key bindings mode. You can mouse over whatever item you want and bind your keys right there. So you can see my Colossal Smash is Q, Mortal Strike is W, Overpower is E, and we have Slam, which is Shift E. Just as an example of mine, I actually choose ASD as my left strafe, right strafe, and forward, and I actually use X's backwards. You should practice to never ever use X, and that's just basic WoW movement. It has nothing to do with boosting to 90. It's something that doesn't seem normal at first, but everything you do in game is faster going forward. So I can go there, and it's at a much lower speed than if I were to just kind of strafe this way, as see the difference. But you didn't need me to tell you that. Anyhow, but yeah, go to the target dummy, and just so you can get an idea, especially if you had a 90, you know what you're going to be bringing to LFR, what your DPS is, and you know it's going to be lower, and LFR is geared for, or is built for that, but at least go in there and know what you're doing. Now, you'll see that my add-on, or my bar on the bottom, is flashing. That's another recommendation I have, is download the Spell Flash mod for the class you boosted. Again, it's not going to be 100% optimal, and I understand that. However, it gives you a very solid grasp for your rotation, and it's a lot better than poking around and wondering what you're supposed to be hitting. It's pretty close. They do, Bitten, who does the updates, follows the theory crafting websites and everything, so it'll give you an idea for what you're supposed to be doing. And as you can see here, my DPS is terrible. I'm not even focusing on the cooldowns or anything. You can see my spell flashes going nuts, telling me, go to Battle Shower, go to Recklessness, and obviously your stuff is going to go up. But this is stuff that will help you watch to see what is getting called upon for ideal rotations, or as close to ideal rotations as possible. But as you see here, I'm just kind of focusing on what am I hitting here, what's flashing, and I'm trying to obviously, get as close to as I can with it. And I'm just showing you, I have these keybound, of course, but I'm not, just for the sake of argument, we're just going to push these here. But that'll help you. And as you can see, I mean, just from scrolling around, my DPS isn't that great in this character. And that's normal. But at least you know what you're doing. And then, of course, once you read up on the fights, you know not to stand in the fire. There you go. Do these things. The main things, if you took it too long, didn't read, although you're at the end of the video already, so thanks for watching. Learn your basic abilities. Don't try to grab everything all at once. If you even need to, make your first bar your primary abilities and bind your keybinds around that, and take Spell Flash and put them all along the other ones, and just make note of what's pulling up in front of you. And the target dummy is the best way to do it, truthfully speaking. It simulates as close to you can as a single target mob, and will quite frankly tell you what to do and what you're not doing right. You can see that something keeps flashing, a battle shot keeps showing up in your face. You know you should be casting it and bind your keys. Read up on the strats, especially if you're changing roles completely from DPS to tank or heals, and follow the rotation guides. WoW has been simplified so much that it really doesn't make any sense to not get your core rotation down. And you can build on stuff. I mean, the AE trash mobs, and of course there's a million other scenarios for things that are important. Make sure you got your interrupts bound and stuff, but take it in small steps. That's my recommendations for you. Again, this has been Dim. Thank you for watching. If you like this, have anything to say, comments, please leave them down below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I couldn't believe how many people started viewing the first video, so hopefully it grows from here. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in Azeroth. Bye!